Okay, we are officially live, and I hope that my microphone is working. If you can hear me right now, you can tell me right in the chat, please, so that I know everything is fine. We can get started with our class. So, is the audio okay? 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Apparently, the microphone is working. I want to say good evening to who joins us today, and well, be very welcome. In today's class, we're going to be discussing okay, the audio is good. Thank you. Today we're going to be discussing the basics with the past. All right? I'm going to show you some sentences about the past and how you can review the past structure. So, yeah, in the last class we discussed about the pronunciation of ED words, also talking about the past, but this is not going to be our focus today. More specifically, talking about some grammar. All right? We're going to discuss grammar without even mentioning grammar terminologies, grammar names. All right, so come aboard with me because this is going to be a very interesting class for you, I believe. All right, I would like you to repeat these words with me. Can, can, all right, and could. Okay, good. We're going to start with these words, and I would like you to read the example, the following examples right there. Please, you can read it out loud. Yeah, I can make a great coffee. I can make a great coffee. You can repeat after me. You can correct your pronunciation. I can make a great coffee. I could talk to her 2 years ago. I could talk to her 2 years ago. I could talk to her 2 years ago. What we're doing here, we're using can in the present, and in the second sentence, we're using could in the past. Could talk to her 2 years ago, which means nowadays I can't. So that's why we use could in this case to discuss, to put the sentence in the past. All right? Can and could. Basic ones. And we have some questions here. I ask you and you answer me out loud. In today's class, also, let me tell you this. In today's class, we are going to have more of a dynamic in which I ask you a question and I expect you to answer me back. You gotta answer me out loud because always that is the way you're gonna practice. Okay, so can you cook? Can you cook? Yes, I can, or no, I can't. It depends. You tell me. Cook, cozinhar, right? All right. So if you can cook, what is your best meal? What is your best meal? I can make delicious pasta. This is my example. This is something that I do. I can make delicious pasta. What can you cook? What is your best meal to cook? You can give me your answer right there, right? If we follow with more examples on the past, here we have two words, two verbs, we can say that way. I watched the news yesterday. I watched the news yesterday. I watched the news yesterday. You're going to repeat this after me. Pronunciation of ED. Remember, we studied this in the last class if you were here. So you're going to say, I watched the news yesterday. Very good. Watched, watched, watched the news yesterday. All right. I ran a marathon last week. I ran a marathon last week. Ran a marathon. Ran is the past of run. You're going to say ran. I ran a marathon last week. All right. And okay, just to pay attention here, In the first word, watched, we have a regular verb that we use the ed letters. Second one, we use ran, which is not a regular, it's an irregular one. So you probably heard that in English, not all the words in the past, not all the verbs in the past, they use the ed. Some do and some don't, right? So here you're going to say ran for the past of run. This is an irregular verb. Okay, talking about the past when using do or did, right? Do becomes, just remember that the present we use do. Do becomes did. To talk about the past, we're going to use did. All right. So, did you play games with him? 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 He didn't go to school. He didn't go to school. In the negative form, we got this. Negative of did would be didn't. So you're going to say didn't, didn't go, didn't go, didn't go. I'm going to repeat this as many times as you need so then you pronounce right after me so you get the pronunciation and we can move forward. All right? So, didn't go. This is the negative of did. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to, time to ask you questions now. Did you drink wine last Friday? You tell me, did you drink wine last Friday? We're talking about the past, right? Last Friday. Here we're using did in the present. We use did in the verb in the present, the action, drink. You see that we're not having a past, which is drank. We're not using the past of drink in this one, the written form, all right? But to communicate that we're talking about the past, we're going to say, did you drink? We always have the question with did and then the verb in the base form. So, yes, I did, or no, I didn't, as for your answer. Pretty good. Did your friend call you last night? Did your friend call you last night? Call? Yes, they called me last night. They called me last night. Or, no, they didn't call me last night. You see that I have the word they over there, because we use they in the sense when we don't know if we're talking about a woman or a man. You see that in the question I used your friend. But when we have like this, your friend, it can be a man or a woman, or a girl and a boy. In this case, that's why I used they in the answer. Did you know about this? If you didn't, please let me know in the comments. If you did, also let me know if you did. All right. Okay. Right now, we're going to use the past in a sense of were and was. You see that the structure here changes a little bit when compared to this. Here we have the most basic one, which is did and the verb in the present. Right here, we have was and were, and we have the action, the verb with ing. All right. So I want you to pay attention to these sentences. You can read and try to understand. And if you got any questions, please use the chat on the side. I'll be pretty happy to help. The example goes as this. They were having dinner when you called. They were having dinner when you called. I was coming home when I saw you. I was coming home when I saw you. We are talking about some action that was happening in the past, and then something happened, right? That's when we're going to use was and were and ing in this sense. We're going to use it to talk about this past situation. And this structure basically is, again, was slash were. And remember to use ing in the verb. The verb, the action we got right there is having and coming. These are the two actions we got, the two verbs. All right. So far, so good. Now I want to ask you this question. What were you doing before this class? What were you doing before this class? Tell me, please, in the comments. What were you doing before this class? I was drinking coffee before this class. I was playing the guitar before this class. What were you doing before this class? If you can't answer that, see that in the question we have were you doing. We have the action ing on doing, right? And in the answer, you're going to say was, and then you're going to use ing. I was eating my dinner before this class. That is a good example. Way to go, brother. Okay, eating with ing again. Nice. I was having dinner before this class. Having with ing, very good, man. That's correct as well. Okay, so now do you know that we can also use used to talk about the past? I don't know if you're familiar with this structure, but we have it like with used to talk about the past, talk about habits you have in the past. All right. So please, you can read those sentences right there. And it goes pretty much like this. I used to play video games 5 years ago. I used to play video games 5 years ago. Good. Okay. Did you use to watch series? Did you use to watch series? We're using the words used to, in this case, remember, to talk about habits in the past. So watch series is a habit. Play video games is another habit. And you see that in the second example, I started the question with did. And I have use to with no ed, right? This is because we start a question with did in the past, but we have used to in the base form. This is why. So again, we can have this used to talk about past habits. And I see there's a question in the comments. I'm going to answer it right. I'm going to save it for later. Okay? I'll save your question for later. Pretty good. Let me ask you this, and you answer me out loud. Did you used to play basketball as a kid? Did you used to play basketball as a kid? You tell me, yes or no. Yes, I used to play basketball as a kid, or no, I didn't used to play basketball as a kid. Remember, didn't used to, no ed, because we have did that already talk about the past right there. Okay. Used to play my guitar after dinner some month ago. Pretty good, Walter. That's correct. Used to play. Good. Here's a little more complex structure to talk about the past when we introduce the use of have. Try to understand it. I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to read it first. Go ahead. He has been to New York. He has been to New York. He's gone to California. He's gone to California. There is a difference. I don't know if you know, but um, a difference between has been and gone. Mostly, when you say he has been or I have been, it means that you had the chance to be there, but you returned. When you say that someone is gone, it means that they are gone and they are not returning. They are staying there. That is the difference between these two structures right there. So you want to say he's gone to California. It means that he's not coming back. Also, you can say that someone is gone. It means that they died. He's gone. It can mean, depending on the context, that they died. Person is dead. Okay? But that is not the case here. We are discussing about traveling. So, have you been to Patagonia? Have you been to Patagonia? This is a question about the past. In any period in your life, have you been to Patagonia? You tell me yes or no. Yes, I've been to Patagonia, or no, I haven't been. You're going to use haven't been, all right? So, and here we can use been, I've been. We don't need to say I have been. We can simply answer I've been to Patagonia. Because, let me tell you this, because this is a more usual way of saying. In everyday English, people speak like that. They don't use have in every situations. For example, the question would be simply like this: you been to Patagonia? You been to? Instead of have you been to? You know what I mean? So that is the deal. All right. Using have and has to also discussing about the past, the more complex structures. We're going to use haven't in this sense. We're going to use haven't to answer to this question in the negative. So if you haven't been, you're going to use haven't. I haven't been. I haven't been. I haven't been to Patagonia. Okay? He has been from Ireland. He has been from Ireland. Well, this question, man, he has been from Ireland. I would say it's like this. He's been to Ireland. Okay? He visited Ireland. He has been from Ireland sounds a little confusing to me. All right? Okay. Right now, this was our pretty quick past structures where I introduced you some of the different uh, structures talking about the past. I got a quick challenge for you now, and I would like you to follow up with me. Check it out. Please let me know in the comments what is the past of sit. You got 5 seconds. 5 seconds too. Past of sit. Anybody? Past of sit would be sat. Okay? The basic past of sit is sat. Pretty good. Now, what is the past of schedule? You can repeat this word with me. Schedule. Schedule. Do you know what a past is? What is the past form of this? It goes just like this. Scheduled. Pronunciation, scheduled. Please repeat. Scheduled. 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 Okay. This sentence is correct. Yes, they did talk to me yesterday. What do you think? Is this sentence correct? Yes, they did talk to me yesterday. What do you say? What do you say? Yes, this sentence is correct because we use did in the sense they did talk to me when we are emphasizing something. So when you want to emphasize, That's when you're going to say they did talk to me. All right. Of course, you can change the verb. You can change the action right there. But you can replace to any different action in different word. But when you use did before, like in this question, we are emphasizing something. All right. And this, is it correct? I was always worried about her. I was always worried about her. What about this? Is it good? Is it correct? I was always worried. I give you one, I give you two, three, four, five. The correct form would be I was always worried about her. Worried, okay? Worried, worried. Please repeat. Worried, worried. All right, all right. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, guys. Now, getting to, before I get to answer your questions, I just want to say a pretty quick thank you, everybody, for joining me on today's class. If you enjoyed it, please comment down below, speak fast, and we're going to keep posted for more content like this, okay? Now, getting the chance to get to your questions real quick. We have having is used for not specific foods. Having dinner. Well, when you want to say having dinner, like we had in the question in the example before, having is used for not specific foods. Not at all, man. You can say I'm having dinner, I'm having lunch, I'm having a snack. Of course, you're not being specific here. You're just communicating that you're in the moment of eating this meal. Make sense? And we also have the used to is the same as costumava. In Portuguese, that is right. That's what it is. We use costumava to say like used to. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope to see you in our next class. And this is a see you soon. Bye bye.